So I have gotten through most of this week and all of the crap that's been part of this week. I got a little more to do, but it's doable, it's manageable. I had some of it go better than I thought it was going to go because I moved here with my spouse. Partially because we wanted to be closer to our girlfriend, and partially because she needed a specialist and insurance wouldn't cover the specialist where we lived. So I drove 3,000 miles and got rid of everything that didn't fit in our car and drove us here. And we moved here with nowhere to live, and we ended up living in this horrible little room for a while before we could get an apartment and all of that. But as miserable as all that was, I was very determined that she get help. And I called around. I looked up online who some of the best people were in New York, especially upstate New York, and I started calling and I got through somehow to the people. I got through to one of the top specialists in the entire state, the top specialist in the northern half of New York, and just worked my way from there. Their caseload was full. They were very interested. They were like, I wish I could take your spouse because they sound so interesting. And, we'll figure something out for payment if I could just fit them. But my caseload is so full already, because I get interested in cases. And that's the kind of person I wanted for my spouse. I didn't want another just Medicaid doctor. I wanted people who have degrees who are still passionate about their degrees. And somehow I got, a referral to talk to this person who trains all the people to be specialists. So then I talked to that person and they were like, oh, someone helps me train. Try this person because my caseload is also full. And so I talked to that person and lo and behold, they had an opening. And so my spouse has had basically this specialist who helps train other people to become specialists. And it's been going really well. She has been getting significantly better. I mean, there is a noticeable difference in the kind of help and the way that there's help versus just normal average Joe people, even when they care. Because her previous person that she was working with, who wasn't a specialist, was trying. Like, she went and got books about it and stuff, trying to do better and stuff. Like, she was very interested in helping. She just didn't know what to do. And there's a significant difference. Well, I also somehow managed to get my spouse into a private practice for her primary care provider by calling around and being insistent that my spouse gets good care. Again, I don't know how I did this. I just was super determined. I have tried calling in to doctor facilities and things before. I did charity work before. And you had to do calling in and trying to get doctors to be involved and to donate their time and all that stuff. It is hard to get through to doctors. It is super hard. I don't know how it just worked out that way. Well, anyway, this private practice place, has a big head doctor and then these other doctors that work with him. And usually she only sees that head doctor like once, twice a year. But for whatever reason, he got on the video call and he did her full assessment and everything, which meant it was done the same day. Which meant that I was actually able. Basically, DHS gave me 4 days to get all paperwork done, and somehow, magically, that was enough time. Just like, what? And it's mostly because that doctor was super awesome. Like, I, he made an opening for her. Um, yeah. When other doctors do stuff, oh, it'll be a few days. When he does stuff, it's so. Yeah, I don't know if he had just decided, hey, you know what? I haven't seen her in a little bit. I'll go ahead and see her, and I won't have an underling doctor see her. And they're all doctors, but he's just the head doctor or whatever. Anyway, I think he's mildly fond of her because she's so cute, my spouse. She's special needs and she carries around a little puppy dog stuffed animal everywhere, and she's very adorable, and she can charm the socks off of people. And I don't know, I think she's somehow managed to charm him quite a bit. Even though the first time he ever met her, she wouldn't, like, even look at him or anything, and he wasn't allowed to touch her. And, like, I could see him be so uncomfortable with her, like, terror of him. And I don't know, maybe that made some sort of a soft spot, but I don't know. Anyway, the main point is he did it himself, and I managed to get that done. And I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't called around when we very first ever moved to New York State and done that. So, thank you, past me, for making future me's life slightly less hectic. I do still have a few things to do, but it's getting to the end of the pile that's somehow piled up all right now during the pandemic. Our girlfriend took a picture of me because she wanted to show off my beard to the guild, because the guild's never seen a picture of me as a boy. Um, really, they've only seen a picture of me as non-binary. Um, I looked at it and I couldn't tell that it wasn't a non-binary still. I feel like I still look very androgynous, and I don't actually look like a boy. And that's been bothering me some, because I feel like for the first time in this entire process, I feel like diving into taking testosterone just so that I look more like what I should. And for the first time, I'm feeling like that sense of urgency about it. And I think it's because I'm worried no one else perceives me as a boy. I'm worried, what if I don't? I mean, I know it's just habits, like logically, but I've accidentally 2 times now, when referred to myself with a female pronoun instead of a male, and been horrified both times. And it's like, I know it's just a habit, but at the same time, it really bothers me. And I've started every once in a while talking with a deeper voice than my voice already is, trying to sound more like I'm a boy, because people, when they first get like in voice chat with me or something, they think I'm a girl just by my voice. And I have to say, oh, hey, I'm a he. And they're like, oh, okay. Yet, oh, and they're not, oh, what, really? Or something like that. Like they're very quick to accept it or whatever when I say it, but at the same time, I'm asking people to say he, him when nothing physically about me reflects he, him. And I feel like that's not fair. Like, I haven't even picked out my name for sure yet. Although I'm pretty much settled onto the name that I think I want, but like my entire life it's been genuinely distressing to me that I didn't look like a boy and that I didn't come across as a guy, and that has always been distressing to me, but now I feel like it's distressing to other people. And I've always done everything in my life revolving around other people and their needs. So that's probably where this sense of urgency comes from. Is that like codependent tendency or whatever, but at the same time, it's also just frustrating. I'm not done with my other therapy, and I'm supposed to be working on that too, and I do want to finish that. I just, I've been thinking about it more. It really bothers me that I don't have very much results from exercising. Like, exercising as much as I've been just doesn't seem to really result in much. And the girls swear up and down that they can see a difference in my, like, muscle tone or whatever, but I feel like I can't see it. And that's really frustrating. Like, I've got this one little dip right here, and then I don't see anything else, but the girls say they do. They say my face is a little thinner than it used to be, and that where my chest area is a little thinner, and that I've lost some weight in my legs or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm shaped like a guy. And I want a guy's wardrobe, but I don't want a guy's wardrobe in a female body. And there are parts of my body I can't change without, doing surgeries. And I want the surgeries really bad. Even though I don't hate my chest, I do hate that my chest is female instead of male. I don't. I have a very weird relationship about my chest. Like, my chest has brought me good things, but my chest also is keeping me from good things. But everything else, I need the surgery so bad. I thought, well, if I start taking testosterone, I can at least start getting bottom growth. I was worried that bottom growth would make my dysphoria worse, but the more I think about it, the more it's like at least there would be something tangible. And maybe my phantom limb syndrome wouldn't go away or whatever, but at least part of the length of it would be there. Like, I don't know. I'm very, um, very, frustrated. I don't know. It's been a rough week. Also, it's been a rough life. My girlfriend said that she thinks I'm the most masculine guy she's ever met because all of my insecurities about my masculinity come from valid things, and every guy she's ever met has a ton of insecurities about their masculinity, and they're all like very superficial based, or, on outdated societal standards and crap. Like, she said that I'm just very solid, whereas she thinks most guys like project a lot, try to display their masculinity, and get really upset if like someone even suggests something slightly feminine about them. And I get that. I'm not afraid of like being a guy who likes rainbows. That doesn't bother me in the least. But I think it does bother me that I can't seem to get more male looking. I thought if I exercise enough, and if I'm eating enough protein, and I'm working at it enough, that even though I was going slow, I would start to see some change, even without the testosterone, and it would be okay. The problem is I'm not seeing really any change. And so that's making going slow harder for me. Because on the one hand, my mental health matters to me. And on the other hand, I need there to be some kind of progress physically. It matters to me. I was kind of hoping that I would come out of this pandemic looking for the shape that I want to be and that I'm pursuing, and people would be like shocked, oh, hey, look, it's a dude. And you started the pandemic looking more like some androgynous girl, and now you're a dude. Like, there wouldn't be any question. Like, people would see me and see guy as their first instinct, and then they would look and be like, oh, wait, there's tits there. But this is really weird. And I don't know, I'd give them some sort of a mind blowing moment or something. I don't know. It's not really looking like it's going to work out that way. Unless something magically changes and all of a sudden my metabolism goes and the muscle comes bulking or something. I don't know. I don't know. I am doing my push-ups at a lower slant than before, so that's something. Um, my goal is still to be able to do 100 push-ups like on the floor, so that'd be cool. I don't want to just be a guy in form to match, that I have this guy brain. I want to be the guy that my brain sees. And he's not that crazy different. He's just. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about the little bit taller thing. Except work on my posture. And I've been doing that, and yay, an inch. And that inch I am very grateful for, but at the same time, it's like I'm I'm gonna have to wear thick soled shoes. There's not a lot I can do about the height, but I thought I could do something about the strength. I've always seen myself as a strong guy, or as a wimpy guy. Again, it's not the fat that I have an issue with as much as the no muscle tone. Not having muscle definition is just genuinely tragic to me. I don't know. I know if I went on testosterone, there's a chance that the muscle would be more obtainable and that the fat would redistribute, and it might be more likely that all my exercising would accomplish something toward weight gain in the form of muscle. But, I'm not done with my therapy. I'm in a very torn place. Part of me is getting to where I want to dive in, and part of me is still, no, you set a path for yourself. You were extremely comfortable with that path. You don't want to just deviate from it. That's not really how I am. I'm usually very figure out what I want and go for that. I don't know, maybe what I want mentally and what I want physically are kind of clashing with each other. I do think people see me as a leader, and they come to me a lot for, somewhat masculine things. Cracked a few guy jokes, and all the guys were laughing with me, and I felt a little bit like one of the bros last night with the guildies and shit, doing casual raid, but nothing demeaning toward women, though. I don't do those jokes. I don't do slurs. I don't know. Anyway, I have things I have to be doing. I ain't got time to sit here and keep crying over this nonsense. I know, it's not nonsense. I shouldn't dismiss myself or whatever so much. I've been dissociating a lot. I've been frustrated a lot. But I think it not being this week will help. Hopefully. Although next week's looking kind of busy too, so. Anyway. Have fun.